And I was really interested early on in sort of biomedical problems. So just like I think I'm really motivated by trying to think about doing research that can help health. So I tried more traditional routes of doing this. I was in a neuroscience lab, but it wasn't quite my cup of tea. And I think when I really discovered that, hey, I can take this computational tool set that I've happened to fall in love with in some of my elective classes and apply it to some of the biomedical problems I care about, that's an intersection I got really excited about. What biostatistics and bioinformatics is essentially trying to study human health at different scales, anything from DNA to electronic health records using computational methodology, whether that be statistics or machine learning. On the research side, my research often involves, how can we apply NLP and more recently large language models to health problems. And I think we're sort of at this inflection point where clinicians are starting to learn about language models, and technologies like ChatGPT have made it really open and available to kind of clinical folks. But at the same time, there's a lot of potential risks of using these technologies. So I think there's a lot that I'm interested in studying about how do we better evaluate them, and particularly doing it with a human-centered lens, because these technologies don't exist in vacuums, but really we have to really think about how they fit into the workflows of the people who will use them, whether that's physicians or patients, and I think there's a lot of interesting interplay there. Likely next semester, and I'll know this for sure soon, is an intro to natural language processing. So sort of the same course that got me hooked, I'll be teaching it 10 years later, kind of to the semester, which I'm very excited about. I think when teaching, what's important to me is, you teach the theoretical concept, but you really tie it back to the impact it could have or how it really ties in general through, projects or assignments that really allow students to understand the impact that their work could have and, what they can do with this new tool set. I hope to sort of better engage students. Excited to really work with people with different skill sets that are more, do a lot more human-centered research. I'm excited to kind of work with a pretty wide range of colleagues across. I think I've been talking to people in Trinity, Pratt, and the School of Medicine. I think there's a lot of interesting things at the intersections. As I mentioned before, I've been sort of trying to just get to know everyone and understand the landscape of how I might be able to fit in and help with the research that they already have going, as well as kind of start new initiatives.